Guys, a new album. I read a quote somewhere. It's an attempt at making an adult breakup record.
Okay.
Who went through breakups?
I don't think any of us went through, I know none of us personally have gone through any breakups recently, but with this album, our newest album, Damage, Jim chose to dive into the world of, that type of situation. So he finds human relationships fascinating, and so he likes to write about them a lot. And so he chose to focus on, this aspect of human existence.
Do you talk about it with him? What the subjects will be?
Not really. I mean, there's not a lot of discussion about it. He's singing the songs, and so we feel like whoever's singing probably has the more, at stake when they're writing something. So they should write something that they want to write about. So yeah. I think for us, it's like okay, cool. And then how can we make these songs like, how can we execute the songs in a way that makes the lyrics more, meaningful.
How did you do this? Breakup record and then making, like you were saying, executing the songs that make the lyrics more meaningful?
That's the secret of our soup. We can't give you the secret recipe.
Well, I mean, that's really, you're trying to do that with every song. I mean, regardless of what a song is about, you're listening to it and you're trying to think musically, what's going to work? Like, what's going to make the song interesting for people to listen to? I mean, it's great to have lyrics, but the lyrics need a song that keeps them engaged and interested and listening along. So I think, so kind of for us, it doesn't, for the other guys in the band, I don't think it really matters really what the lyrics are about. I mean, yeah, you do have to keep them in mind, when you're working on a song, but it doesn't make it any harder.
Okay.
No.
That could be maybe if it's some sort of lyrical depth content that maybe you think, well, we have to approach it a different way, but it isn't.
Well, yeah, sometimes you might have a happy sounding song, but the lyrical content is really dark. So I know we've done that in the past with songs, and so it makes it really interesting because they don't go together, so much. But or sometimes it's just like raw power rock and then angry lyrics at the same time. I don't know. Okay. It's all over the place.
All over the place. Previous album was released 3 years ago. Invention. How do you look back on that album?
I think it's a great album. I mean, it's something we're proud of. I think that it's a good collection of songs. I think compared to Damage, I think maybe in the way that we made it was the biggest difference. Like with Invented, the process was really different than how we made Damage. It was kind of more fluid and less defined. And with Damage, I think there was more definition to like the writing process, the demoing process, the recording process. All those things kind of took place separately, and there's a little bit more structure to the making of Damage. And I think that ended up giving Damage a little bit more of a cohesive feel. I think Invented is like a good album of songs, but there's something about Invented where it's not super, it doesn't feel totally like the songs come from the same place. They kind of come from different times and different sort of places. So I think the big difference is that I think Damage feels a little bit more like these songs fit together.
Was it done on purpose? Did you talk about it before you went into the recording process?
Yeah, we did. And when we were discussing how we wanted to make Damage, we wanted to change it up a little bit and kind of get ourselves out of our comfort zone that we had been in for making our last two previous albums. We had done them at our studio in Arizona, and so we wanted to just for a change of scenery and kind of like get some different sonic textures, go somewhere else, and that just inherently will make it be different. So because you're not in the same place where you might be just getting the same sounds that you've been getting all along. Yeah. So we went to Al Johannes' house in California. He was our producer, and he has a studio in his house, and it was just a great time. And Al's a great guy. He got some really great sounds.
What was it? What did this place bring to you? Did it?
It was really relaxed at Al's house. He's a really friendly guy. We hit it off right away, and so it was kind of like you're hanging out at your friend's house. You have all of your equipment set up. You know you have this goal of recording these songs. So you're hanging out at your buddy's house, and whatever you are feeling most at that time, you can do at any minute. It was very relaxed, very fun. It was a great experience.
Was it like going back to maybe recording the first 1 or 2 albums?
Not really, but it was, it's just the last few albums we've made, Invented and Chase the Sight, we made all in our own studio. And so I think Damage was sort of similar to the older albums in the sense that we left home, we went to LA, which we had done for all the previous ones. But it's still, every record when you're making it feels a little different. Every experience is different. I wouldn't say Damage was like, just like, before, but it was definitely good for, I think, the creative process to leave home, like we just spent 30 days and recorded as much as we could in 30 days. And we made a rule that we couldn't come home and finish anything. Like we had to finish it there. So, and it worked really well.
The album is called Damage. When during the process of recording the album, was the album title?
I think we're throwing around the idea of calling it Damage probably when we started, right around the time we started recording it, but we weren't really sure until until after. I think we kind of settled on it. We sort of thought, hey, that'd be a cool band name or a cool album name, and then I think we kind of like waited until after we were done, and then we figured, okay, well, what do we really want to call it? And we ended up calling it that.
And why? Why Damage?
I think it fits in with kind of the overall, the lyrical content we spoke about earlier. It goes along with kind of the lyrics that are on the album. Kind of sums everything up in one word.
Damage is negative. It can also be something,
Right, yeah.
Sometimes, but sometimes you have to, like if you are, rebuilding a home, sometimes you have to damage part of it to bring it back up. So it's sort of negative, but it's also a reality. It's a part of life. Relationships end, and people have to sort through that. And I think for us, that's more interesting to talk about and to discuss than like, everything's great all the time.